It's Nolan. Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show. There's a reason rappers can turn any story into a hit track. Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm with over 1,000 attorneys and more than 100 offices nationwide. If you've been seriously injured in an accident, your case could be worth millions. But the truth is, a lot of people either don't file at all or get taken advantage of by insurance companies. When you hire Morgan & Morgan, it's like hiring a legal army that has your back. If you're injured because of someone else's negligence, you deserve to be paid. No shortcuts, no lowball offers. In fact, they've secured some major verdicts in the past. For example, in Florida, they got a victim who was in a life-altering car crash, $12 million. 34 times the highest insurance offer. They got another victim in Philadelphia, $26 million. 40 times the highest insurance offer. Not all law firms are created equal. Morgan & Morgan is the biggest for a reason. They will fight for the biggest award possible and have won a lot. So if you're ever injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. Their fee is free unless you win. That's right, no upfront costs. They only get paid if you get paid. You can start your claim now by clicking the link in the description or by scanning the QR code on screen from your phone's camera. Again, if you find yourself injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. Don't say I never told you nothing, man. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody's doing well out there this evening, okay? Now, over the weekend, I wasn't able to speak on Rory's apology. We did already talk about Rory's offensive tweets that were resurfaced. We talked about the whole Damaris thing, hating on Kendrick. The Rory and Mal podcast being heavily under fire, burnt to a motherfucking crisp, disintegrating in the broiler, that whole thing. We talked about the ramifications. We talked about how people felt. We talked about how it was dumb to go in there in spaces and think that you were going to be vindicated in some type of way. We ran through all of that. But the very next day, after all of this was taking shape, there was a redo of an apology, released on the Rory and Mal podcast. Okay. Now, in this apology, Rory actually came out and apologized for the way he handled the situation, for going into the spaces being smug, condescending, sarcastic, and basically not taking the situation seriously because he wasn't, in his words, aware of who exactly was in the room, right? I guess he felt like there was nothing but so-called K-bots in there who didn't really want to hear anything from him. They just wanted to jump on his neck and criticize him. But he didn't understand that there was a variety of people in there, folks who weren't all that familiar with the situation, that just wanted to know what was going on, others that were just offended by the presentation of the tweets and wanted an answer for it, which I would have thought would be the sensible way to approach it anyway, because as a white man in hip hop culture, partaking in black culture, primarily being around blacks the majority of your time for the past 15 or so years, I would think you would want to clear that up, right? Especially as people are consuming your content, listening to your opinions, and listening to you wax poetic about your so-called love for hip hop and black culture. So the apology, I'm going to let you know up front, ain't no good for me, but I'm sure for some people they may feel better. We're going to get into the apology. We're going to get into Mal on the Rory and Mal podcast. Basically, for whatever efforts that Rory was even trying to put into the apology, basically was countering the whole thing by saying, fuck that. We know better. You shouldn't even speak to this, which I think Mal is definitely going to get him in a world of trouble, even worse if he takes his advice. But anyway, on the heels of that coming out, we also had the DJ that don't spin, who came out and basically doxed Rory and his daughter. Now, of course, Rory is a public figure, but his daughter is not. Okay. He put out photos, surveillance photos of somebody tailing Rory while he was out at the park and having, child visitation rights with his child. Okay. Cause he's not he, to my knowledge, he's not the full-time custodial parent. Right. So he puts this out there and he continues to let people know, I'm not letting up off this dude. I don't give a fuck. And everybody clear out. I don't need y'all help. I've been trying to take this nigga down for years. So he comes out and proves that he is just as deplorable as he's ever been. He's at his most deplorable ever. And he cares not about what anyone thinks of it, which again, just shows even when you have a motherfucker being exposed for being low, you got another motherfucker willing to go even lower for internet clout and no benefit. Fucking weirdos. As this comes out, Rory's baby mother came out and made a statement as well because she didn't appreciate that shit. Okay? So we're going to get into all of those in this video. I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as possible. It's a bit to get through, but I'm not trying to be here all day talking about this shit neither. And for anybody asking why I didn't cover this sooner, I would have Saturday, but I actually went to support my homie who was doing a performance out here. So I didn't drop anything, you know what I mean? So I was being a friend. Sue me. Okay? But here is the response, and we're just going to get through this as quickly as we can.
Listen, man, I went into Twitter Spaces against all my friends.
You like that shit?
You think I'm a glutton for punishment?
Yes. I think you're a glutton for punishment. I think you're a glutton for attention. I think you're a glutton for bullshit.
For attention?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
It's not clout chasing. I don't want it to seem clout chasing. It's not that. But you do like when there's bullshit happening and your name is in it. Like you dive right into that shit. Like you like abuse.
I think it's you like abuse? More so to address things, but I did.
You like to seem like a martyr?
I wouldn't go that far. A martyr is a little.
You want to seem like a martyr for the culture. I'll take this one on the chin, fellas. Don't worry about it.
This is not one that I want to take on the chin whatsoever. But yes, I did go into Twitter Spaces. I don't think my intentions came off the correct way because I was in there to get my talking to.
Why?
But when I woke up this morning and listened back to some of it, I sounded very, very dismissive in the beginning.
As you should have been.
No, because there were some people in there, because I was on the side of like, everybody knows, the people that know me know who I am and know what it is.
Which is why you shouldn't be talking about it.
But there were people in there that don't know me and were actually searching for an actual response or reply.
For
and
nothing,
I was,
man.
I'm not saying.
We got to stop saying that.
Can I finish, please?
They weren't searching for shit. They were searching for attention. They were searching to go back and forth with you so they can clip it and put it on their YouTube channels. That's all they were searching for. Nobody was searching for answers. Nobody was hurt. Nobody's children didn't eat last night as a result of tweets that you tweeted, fake tweets 12 years ago. So it's not that serious.
I agree with you that there was definitely people in there with just that intention, but there were some people that were generally just looking for an answer. And I apologize for being dismissive to those people in particular that were just looking for an answer to what some of those tweets and fake retweets and all that was. So I do apologize because I did come off dismissive to some people that did not deserve that were just saw something out of context and was like, yo, what's up with this? And I was a little condescending and dismissive in the beginning. About 20, 30 minutes in, I started to realize, oh shit, all right, we're not doing the joke shit anymore.
It took 20 minutes.
At that point, everyone was texting me, get the fuck out of the spaces. And I felt like it was too late then. I got to just stay here because if I run, it's even worse. But I handled that spaces very poorly.
Hey, dog, how long you got to be in the pressure cooker before you realize that niggas ain't joking with your ass? Like, let's be real, bruh. If somebody bring the flame to your ass, you mean to tell me within the first 60, 90 seconds, you can't tell that niggas ain't playing with your motherfucking ass? It took 20, 30 minutes. What was you, drunk? Like, something gotta be not registering upstairs if it took that long to realize niggas wasn't playing with your motherfucking ass. Cause name somebody who play like that in the hood. Anyway, let this shit keep running.
I will say that. You are correct about the spaces.
Okay.
I'm saying me personally, after I listened to the space, I felt bad of how I handled being dismissive in the beginning. That's all. So I want to apologize for that.
Why were you being dismissive?
Because when it started, there was, I know people don't understand the term fake retweet, but at a time on Twitter, people they would type out retweet someone's at to make it look like they said something when you were battling back and forth on Twitter.
I was there.
So when that was popped up, yes, I was laughing about it, and I was dismissive, and then people have every right to feel away with or without context. Like I'm not here to argue that. I'm just here to say I handled the spaces poorly. That's all.
I guess it's just like again, I'm gonna just keep going to the age difference between you and me.
And I will give him a half ounce of like, at least you admitted that you handled it poorly. I appreciate the fact that you at least came out and sat with it and reevaluated the situation. But at the same time, is that how you feel, or is it at the advisement of the investors and the people that have financial stake in what it is that y'all do? You know what I mean? Because y'all have y'all got Boost Mobile sponsors, y'all keep doing these different deals with different networks for the podcast and stuff like that. I'm sure they wanted a better response once it got out there too, because who wants to see their investment go up in flames off some 10-year-old racist tweets, and you sitting on spaces disregarding people's actual concern about it? So I can see how it can go both ways.
Empathize with somebody looking at my white face in this space for so long, having opinions, and then seeing those tweets and being like, yo, what the fuck? I can see the outrage with it. I'm not here saying like, yo, what's like, why are y'all so mad? I'm not here to say that. But I mean, the one they're the most outraged about was not in the context that they're making it seem. But with that said, I understand why everyone's outraged. Yesterday, I just was in a different mind state, and I was being a fucking dick.
And I think you also owe your ex an apology for blaming her for some of that shit too. Basically saying that, and I'm sure the black woman that I was living with at the time probably put that up too. And it's like, nigga, where's her apology at? Because she had came out and said, keep my motherfucking name out of it, because if I start talking, it'll be a podcast wet dream. So where's that piece? Again, I'm not going to put her name out there because she ain't got nothing to do with this shit. And she's not a public figure really either, although people do know who she is. You know what I'm saying? We'll continue.
Yesterday, I just was in a different mind state, and I was being a fucking dick. Because I thought it was laughable for somebody to call me a raging racist. But this morning...
I did too.
But this morning, with a different lens and a good night's sleep, yeah, I sounded like a fucking asshole. So, I apologize for that.
You here to apologize to all the victims?
I'm not. See, don't put words in my mouth.
Are you here to apologize to everyone that was offended and was hurt?
Sure. If somebody was offended by that, I do apologize.
All right. I mean, if that's how you feel, cool.
So as you can see, Maul is still being dismissive to the situation. He's still trying to make light of it. He's still joking. And Maul, there's old tweets of you too, co-signing Grape and SA and shit like that too. So you might want to watch out. But that's the clip from them, and that's why I say Rory better be careful, because homeboy gonna get his ass in a even deeper world of trouble, because you can't even hold your peoples accountable. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like on some white savior shit or something. I don't know what he got going on. But I think, especially with Maul, I don't think he understands that your podcast is beyond your network of friends. Your podcast goes out to the world. Your podcast reaches thousands of people, at times hundreds of thousands of people, each time it goes out. And with that comes a level of responsibility for you to not be a jackass. And if that as a basic requirement is a problem, you might want to hang up your mic. There's a lot of people that are asking for you to do it anyway. So let's move on with the show. So as all this was coming out, we also had the lowest of the low, the DJ that don't spin, come out and say, 4 years ago, this is Rory. You came to my house trying to be cute like you were some mob boss. I've been on your head ever since, for my protection, of course. Thought you got a $10 million podcast deal. I don't know why you still in the hood. There's mad black women out there. Don't you hate them? Okay, so he plays the sarcastic role as well, saying, how you still in the hood with a $10 million podcast deal, especially when there's so many black women that you hate in that community. Okay? Now, a lot of people got on this guy's head for putting these photos out there, which also include Rory's child, include him pushing a stroller, include him at the playground on multiple occasions. I'm sure there's probably even more. But he did this just brazenly, no remorse, no nothing, and gained nothing out of it but a couple minutes of people talking about him. A lot of people got on his neck, like I said. So he came out to double down on his stance and get into, I guess, the incident that occurred 4 years ago when Rory, or whomever Rory allegedly sent to his house, put something in his mailbox. So here the DJ that don't spin says, you pulled up to my house. From that moment, I'm watching you until you die. I don't care if Rory is with family at the park or at school. I'll pay people to watch you every day. That is a quote from the DJ that don't spin. I'm going to play just a couple minutes of this footage. This is a 14-minute video. I refuse to sit through this, but I will play a few moments.
I broke it down line by line, bar for bar. I showed y'all him costuming. I played these videos. It's a nigga from TMZ who sent me this video. I said, bruh, I DJ'd these joints. These little meet the greet joints. Like I DJ'd all throughout Jersey.
And for context, this is the footage of Rory strolling with the Kappas. You know what I'm saying? This was an ongoing joke for many years online, that Rory was a Kappa. I was always curious why he never denied it, but I guess it's a real life thing. So this is one of the videos of him strolling and doing their little dances and stuff. And in Axe idea, or his words, he feels like Rory was costuming, okay? Like coming in being like some type of covert person or something. I don't know. Right? We'll continue.
This little white boy was a fraud from day one. I've been exposed this. Listen, y'all didn't want to listen because you know why? A lot of times it's not about the message. It's always the messenger. Some of y'all black hoes ain't my biggest fans anyway. So the fuck am I placating to y'all? Like, I'm not going to come to y'all like, oh, yeah, man, fuck y'all niggas anyway. Nigga, I'm standing on it. So I'm going to keep it a beam. So I'm not going to jump on some fake shit. That's why when people say, yo, why'd you tweet out a picture with this nigga? It's been up with me and him personally since then. I don't need y'all to tell me he don't like. I don't need black women. No disrespect. I don't need black women to tell me that I got my op down bad. I'm good. I don't need to piggyback with y'all. Y'all don't got no power anyway. Y'all suck this dick for.
This nigga is wild. I don't need y'all. Y'all don't got no power anyway. So as he's coming out piggybacking, well, in his estimation, he's not, but clearly he is. Otherwise, you could have put this out any other time, any other day of the month, week, or year. You wait until people decide to pounce on Rory, rightfully so, as in the pouncing, but you waited until the opportune moment to try to throw this out there that you've been surveilling this man. So yeah, you are piggybacking no matter how much you try to say in your words that you aren't. But then you say, I don't need black women, which unfortunately is kind of true. I don't know how many black women tune into his streams or his content. I'm sure there are some. Sad case for those that do. But for him to openly say that in y'all face, like, I'm talking about those that view him, by the way. It's fucking crazy. And for him to have to endure no consequences to that is also crazy. Because anybody else that said that shit on the internet, they would be getting their ass sent up through there too. But, you know, nothing ever happens to this guy neither. Even when, I mean, he took photos of this man and his child. Earlier this year, it was him talking to the 14-year-old boy, sexually soliciting him for Black Boy Max. Weird. Should have been canceled then. You know, YouTube been knocking niggas' channels down and shit left and right. But for whatever reason, people like this don't get their fucking channel hit. Not to say that I want YouTube to be just knocking niggas' shit down, because a lot of actual decent people have been losing their pages and losing their channels. But I just find it interesting that those people lose their shit, but then the people that are actually on here on fuck shit never face any consequences. I find that to be very strange. Anyway, we'll continue for just a few.
For like 8 years after I've been exposed. So when y'all are saying, why did Act just tweet out something? No, I had to tell you, because I told y'all not only I exposed him then, I told you this little boy thought he was slick with me. I got the letter somewhere over here. I've never thrown it away. It's somewhere over here. I look at it, nigga, I look at it every 3 days. Let me tell you this. I've had issues with Meek Mill. Meek Mill live in Philadelphia. I actually live in Cherry Hill, or used to live right around Cherry Hill area. That's in Jersey. Meek Mill live like literally 40 minutes away from, or used to. Then he moved to New York. I know the niggas who I'm really getting it in with, not one of them has ever shown up to this crib. Ever. The only person who had the audacity to show up to my house was this little white boy right here. So it's been up with me and him since then. It's been up with me since, you know, I see some people like, yo, why'd you, nigga, I don't care. I could have seen that nigga let me tell you this. I had niggas watching him. I don't care. He could be at a funeral. He could be at the birth of a kid. I don't give two fucks. I need to know what that nigga, and this is no threats of violence. I just had to figure out what he was doing, because he thought he had to drop on me. Boy, you live in Jersey City. Nigga, where he live at, five blocks away, nigga, I pay $22,000 a month for 3 studios I don't use. Actually, it's not 3. I don't even use them.
All right, again, we're not watching that whole video, but basically he says, you came to my house, you dropped this Boss Day card in my mailbox. And of course, the whole Boss Day thing was because the DJ that don't spin was calling Rory and Mal workers, because at the time that the beef was going on between them, they were still at the Joe Budden podcast, and he was like, y'all don't have the right to speak on my name. I run my own ship. Y'all are workers on Joe Budden's ship. All right? So I'm a boss. You're a worker. You can't talk to me. So allegedly, Rory or somebody that he sent, Rory denies that he did this, went to the DJ that don't spin, excuse me, went to his house, dropped a Hallmark card that said it's Boss Day in his mailbox. It said, love a stooge, which he called Rory and Mal stooges back during that time period. And basically it clued him off that this was sent by Rory. He took it as some sort of mob boss threat that Rory was basically letting him know that he could be touched. And I think Rory doubled down on it, allegedly, by putting tweets out there that consisted of the zip code that the DJ that don't spin lived in. Those tweets have since been deleted as well. And that was the whole concept of anybody could get touched. Don't think that you so far out that we don't know where you at type of thing. So he took that as a threat of violence, which I got to be honest, I got to give him a 5% agreement. I understand if somebody comes to your place of residence or a place of residence under your name, tries to make a statement, I understand that you may never trust that person again. You may keep tabs on that person. Perhaps you would even have plans of retaliation or something along those lines. However you choose to handle it, I can get part of that, right? But to get on the internet and put this out there, put these photos out there of this man, you say where he's at, you're in Jersey, he's in Jersey City, and you mean to tell me it's 4 years later and nothing has happened to him and you're out here talking crazy on the internet? A man came to your house, did something that you perceived was a threat, which honestly, dropping a card in a nigga mailbox ain't much of a threat. But shit, hey, you know, who knows? It could have had anthrax on that bed. Bin Laden, I don't know. But in reality, nothing came of it. No further threats commenced. Y'all have had no real engagement or interaction since then, but you're acting like you're still on demon time or something, when really it just exposes how much of a fucking loser you have been, are, and will continue to be for the rest of your living days. How fucking embarrassing. So I ain't co-signing none of this shit. All y'all motherfuckers go in the blender. But let me not say that, because some people perceive that as a threat. Now, for the final piece of the puzzle, I've never seen this woman before, but people are saying that she is Rory's, the mother of his child. So she came out and issued this statement.
I'm sorry. My heart just stopped. Y'all have to understand, I don't know what's going on. Like, I am so far removed. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. We are not married. There is no ring on this finger. My daughter did absolutely nothing. So whatever the fuck this is about, leave her the fuck out of it. This is why I do not post her. This is why I do not talk about her often. She is my entire world, and I have to hide her. Because y'all are fucking weird. Y'all are fucking weird. Stay the fuck off my page. Stay the fuck away from me. Do not talk to me about whatever the fuck is going on. And leave my fucking daughter out of it. Leave my daughter out of it. This is the last thing I'm going to say about this. Rory is an amazing father. I don't feel like it's appropriate for any of you guys to come for his parenting skills when you've literally never seen him parent. So, again, leave my daughter out of it, suck my fucking dick, and have the worst day ever, because that's probably what you deserve.
All right. So that is the statement from Rory's child's mother. Okay. She didn't really know what was going on. She wasn't fully abreast of the situation. And as this whole DJ that don't spin thing came into play, actually putting her child on display, she said, hey, y'all niggas weird. Y'all need to miss me with the bullshit. Leave my child out of it. Leave me the fuck out of it. Leave me alone. I ain't got nothing to do with that shit. I'm not married to that motherfucker. So please. Which I think is extremely fair, right? She also said, hey, y'all should not be coming for his parenting skills. He's an amazing father, which none of us know anything on the contrary, right? We could say what we want about his podcast. We could say what we want about his statements. We could say what we want about his apology. We could say what we want about the tweets. We could say that he hates every black woman in existence, if that's what you happen to feel. However, we don't know the personal dynamic between himself and his child. So I don't know who put the narrative out there that he was a bad father, but I wouldn't go that far. You know what I'm saying? Some shit just need to be left alone. And I don't know what it is with niggas that are Aubrey sympathizers, but y'all seem to feel like children are fair game. And then when shit comes back to backfire on you motherfuckers, y'all start trying to cry victim, cry wolf, call the law, call the courthouse. Y'all niggas be weird. And then when a motherfucker say, okay, you want to play weird? I really don't like to play like that, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to get back at your ass. Y'all motherfuckers start tapping. And then when a nigga say, nah, ain't no tapping, no DQ, bitch. It's on till you pass out. Then they say, oh my God, you took it too far. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Okay? But yeah, leave the kids out of this. All right? You could question old girl like, damn, how did you procreate with this motherfucker? That's even fair. But once you go past that, I can't co-sign it. You know what I mean? But let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider. This shit is wild. This shit has gone somewhere that it never needed to go. But that apology was still not enough, especially as you sat beside your co-host who didn't even think that you needed to be apologizing. So he's always going to keep you held up in that same position forever until y'all figure out other ways to get your money. But I'll catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be good out there. Peace.
Yeah, family over fame in this bitch, yeah. The glory of living righteous is setting in. My street knowledge and education's a perfect blend. Young mogul, independent, I've been setting trends. The first one from my family to be faithfully wed. Fuck niggas and the horses that they riding on. I see this shit from all angles like a polygon. I'll never politic and the drama be piling on. Father and greats unacknowledged like I'm Bobby Bonds. Conversation with my lady about the paper route. 5 sit bank accounts every day I make it count. They down talking my commentary for hating now. Well, I can take it cause I'm bodying your favorite now, please. I can do this shit in my sleep. I been writing for these niggas, y'all read it and weep. I been fighting these niggas if you speak on the street. I'll turn your birthday party into New Year's Eve. Don't let me take it there. We ain't playing fair. This the ATL, Southside nigga moving furniture like Wayfair. Life on hold, no insurance for your healthcare. Lifeline gone, so you wanna be a millionaire? Well, let me tell you about this world I built. The women I dodged, the niggas that I ran for filth. The sympathy calls, consulting for the stacks.